Texas area. Shannon, what percentage chance do you see, what do you give Odell of actually signing in Dallas?
I'm going to say 10% chance.
10%?
10%. Skip, this is the kind of courtship, the kind of recruiting that you see during free agency. When everybody's in the free agency, you remember Von Miller, and everybody said, Von, come on, Von, come over here. Come over here. Even Dallas was talking about, Von, come here. And we see a lot of this in the free agency process during the free agency period. Not so much in October, November, late October, early November. We don't normally see this going on. But if the reports are true, that there's going to be a bidding war. And I don't know, Skip, I don't know if you've ever been to one of them silent auctions or been to an auction and I was like, oh, man, I want to have that. Like, okay, I'll go here. And the next thing you know, it's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over what you like. Oh, no.
Well, you're the one who bids for, like, Fabergé eggs, right?
I bid one time for a painting in 2000. They had a painting? A painting.
Of Van Gogh?
No, it was the Ravens. It was me, Ray.
Okay.
It was like 7 or 8 of us on the painting.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll pay $10,000 for it. And somebody ended up paying 30. I was like, oh, nah.
You opted out?
I opted out.
They looked back to you and you said, no.
Yeah, once it got to 12, Skip, that was too high for my blood. And so for me, I don't see Jerry getting into a bidding war. Now, also, this is what I want to know. And yesterday, you was really giddy. Oh, get Odell. You want Odell now. After you've been so disparaging of Odell, if Odell was all of that, somebody should have just signed him and just stashed him away so can't someone steal him away.
Yep.
You were that guy?
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you want Odell.
Is it my turn?
No, not your turn yet. Look, in the playoffs last year, 4 games, 21 passes, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. In the NFC Championship game, he was 9 for $113. And he was off to a great start in the Super Bowl before that knee injury took him out.
2 for 52.
And a tub.
17-yard touchdown.
Yes, so he was off to a great start. Skip, if you look at your defense defense is good enough to win your championship. You look at your special teams, I believe your special team unit, with Turpin in the return game and your defensive and your special team unit, kick return and kickoff, punt return, I believe you're good enough to win. The question is your offense. Are you explosive enough? Because your offense thus far has been very average. Now, some will chalk it up, says, well, that was Cooper Rush. Now that we got Dak back, Dak looked as good as we've seen him throwing the football, minus the 1 interception that he had there. But he looked really good. And so you believe your offense can be even more explosive the way they ran the ball with what's the little running back?
Tony Pollard,
Pollard. The way they ran the ball.
See how quickly you forget. You disrespect him, you can't even remember the man's name.
Well, now, if he ain't Chubb, he ain't Derrick Henry, when you say quiet, we forget about it.
He's actually beyond those guys, but we'll discuss that at a later date.
You need to stop.
I'm not going to stop.
So the thing is, Skip, yes, I do believe Odell could help you. I still believe he can make plays, and that's what you're going to need in the playoff situation. You're going to need guys that can make plays, and we've seen Odell in big moments make big-time plays. I just give it a 10% chance because Jerry has a number that he wants to go to. He's already talking about, oh, that's the artist helmet. Oh, playing for the Cowboys. He's already trying to say, look, this is what I got.
Yep.
And plus, the benefit of you being in the start, the benefit of you playing in Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to give it a 10% chance of this happening because I don't believe Jerry will get into a bidding war. And there are going to be other suitors. I don't know if Kansas City gets into the fray. Green Bay, I'm not even if I'm him, I'm not looking at Green Bay. Clarence here reported that he wants to play in warm weather. Who wouldn't want to play in warm weather? Everybody wants to play in warm weather. It's warm weather, especially if you're losing. I ain't going to I ain't joining no team that's losing. I'm not. I'm not even for if they offer me the most money. I'm going somewhere where I can win because there's nothing worse than being cold and losing. Skip, you know what I'm saying? You're like, I can be cold, but when it starts to rain, you're like, damn, it's cold and it's raining. Well, I can be cold if I'm winning. I ain't about to be cold and losing. No, that's not happening.
Okay. You finished?
Yep.
All right. I slept on it, and I am giddier than ever about Odell coming to Dallas. I am 90% sure this is going to happen. You're 10%, which might as well be 0% to me, because I think you're saying, well, I'll barely hedge my bets. I'll cover my you-know-what with a little 10 out there. But I basically think you're saying there's no way.
But if the reports are true, a bidding war, do you see Jerry? You say Jerry don't get in the bidding war. You say he don't spend no money. Now you like, oh, yeah, Jerry, go ahead and do it.
You already nailed it. Jerry has a lot to offer that isn't just cold, hard cash. I'm going to say it again. Odell Beckham Jr. was born to play for the Cowboys in Dallas, Texas. In the NFL, you know and I know, Dallas is the palace. It is the Hollywood of the National Football League. It is the Mecca. It is the centerpiece. It is the sun. It all revolves around the Dallas Cowboys. They are the most valuable team in the world of any sports team. They are the most watched team by far. It ain't even close. The top 5 games every year will belong to Dallas Cowboys. When they play, people watch. They love them. They hate them. They watch them.
Right.
And their owner is simply the craziest, kookiest, most interesting owner in the history of sports.
The biggest showman ever.
Right. He is the biggest. He is the ultimate PT Jerry Jones Barnum. It all adds up to, what is Odell? He is buzz personified. OBJ is TMZ to me. That's who he is, not in a bad way. I'm just saying in a good way. He's electric. He dominates. He owns social media, and Dallas owns the social media of the NFL because there are more tweets and posts about Dallas than any other team because of the love and hate factor. They are still America's team, and people ask me, how are they America's team? Because they haven't won in forever. It's been, what is it now, 27 years since they even reached an NFC championship. Yet 27 years and they're America's team. They just are. It's something about that star on the side of the helmet.
You mentioned social media. I saw a social media post yesterday, and Damian Lillard had to be like 15, and he got a cowboy hat on.
There you go.
How the hell you got a cowboy hat on? You in the Bay.
He's in the Bay. He's in Oakland, right?
I think you bypass the Raiders, you go bypass the 49ers, and you way.
Every time I run into kids and I say, how did you become a Cowboy fan if I'm in New York or wherever? It's the uniforms. Yeah. It's just the uniforms. That people love to wear the colors, the metallic blue, the star. You know and I know that Odell played New York and he played in L.A. Yeah. Now he's destined to play in the Hollywood that is Dallas. He needs, Jerry's right about this, and Jerry's the ultimate negotiator, and he's negotiating when he say he could look pretty good with that star on the side of his helmet. Right. No, he'd look perfect, like meant to be. But Jerry is negotiating because he's saying that's part of what we're offering here is we're offering you the star. And Jerry did go so far as to point out on his radio show, we know that we should be aware that he's coming off an injury. Again, negotiating. Yeah. Because Odell just turned 30 years of age on November 5th. So it was,
a couple days ago.
4 days, whatever it was ago. He's played 8 seasons, but he's had a bunch of surgeries. He's had 3 bad surgeries.
They don't concern you? Because I remember
Sure they do. Okay. They concern me, and he's had 2 ACL surgeries on the same knee, although he's selling this one as it's actually correcting a bad surgery that he had the first time in this ACL. Right. That is possibly the case. Okay. As you well know about ACLs, if the surgeon is good, if he nails it, it can become, if you rehab it correctly, it can become stronger than it ever was, right? It's like Tommy John surgery for the pitchers. You watch Verlander come back from Tommy John, and he looks better than ever, okay? It's because the ligament got strengthened as opposed to weakened by a second surgery or third surgery or whatever it is. So I can't tell you that. I don't know. You don't know. No. But I watched the video of him working, running on the treadmill, lifting, pushing. It looks sensational.
But the thing is, Skip, with a wide receiver and dealing with ACLs, we don't worried about running. Yeah, we know in line, but what do wide receivers do? Stop, plant, cut, jump, twist.
And how did he do it in the Super Bowl? I don't even know. He's just running free.
Yeah, he's like running a shallow cross. Yeah. He stops, and then, boom, it buckles.
It just goes. It's a non-contact. It's impossibly bad. It's like the worst luck you could have. But, again, he's rehabbed before, and that's what Jerry's saying, that he's shown his ability to return from injury before, and that he's a tough kid, and we love all that. He's competitive, blah, blah, blah. They're saying and doing all the right things. And then Micah he's the new face of the franchise. I don't care what you say. You can have Dak Prescott all you want. I'll take my old Micah.
Dak that quick?
I'm not giving up on him. I'm just saying the face of the franchise has become 11 from heaven. The reason for being, the driving force of the team is 11 from heaven. So I'm like, go, Micah, go, because when he speaks via Twitter, I think Odell's ears open up.
Funny that you mentioned that. You know who had the #1 jersey sale last month? 11 from heaven.
Did he? I didn't notice that. Yeah. I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised? He beat the quarterbacks?
Nope, I'm not surprised. He is a thing now. He has arrived. Yeah. And we talked about it last week. he doesn't have the stats to be Defensive Player of the Year, but he is now the front runner, and it's just on sheer presence.
He's had the impact.
Okay.
You're right. He doesn't have more sacks than Judon, or he's not. I mean, he's right there with a Zadarius Smith. There are other guys that have more sacks, that have more pressure, that have more forced fumbles.
That is correct, but incredibly, impact, and just in his second season at the midway point, he already has reputation.
Yeah.
He's winning on reputation. I'm not saying that it's like empty reputation.
No, it's deserved.
It's deserved. He has earned it on reputation.
Yeah.
People saying, well, wait, Defensive Player of the Year, it's got to be Micah Parsons.
Yeah, there's no sophomore slump here.
Okay, and it's so contagious what he does for the defense, because even if you block him, it takes 2.
Right.
Maybe 3, and if it takes 3, somebody's going to get loose on the other side,
Okay.
and they're going to. It's why Dallas leads the league in pressures as a team. So, I think all that is intriguing and attractive to Odell, but I think also attractive is it's the perfect fit for him, because he knows deep down, you disagree with this, but he's not a number 1. He doesn't want to be a number 1. He wants to be a 2, maybe even a 3. He went to L.A. to be a 3, and Robert Woods tore his ACL the day he arrived.
But, Skipper, that never leaves you. Once you become that number 1 dog, you always believe. Now, whether or not your play can be representative of that, but you've been that dog, and that's how you see yourself. And that's why it's so hard for guys to all of a sudden, especially when you've been a guy. Skip, if you see quarterbacks, it's hard for quarterbacks to been a guy, all of a sudden become a backup, as opposed to guys that was marginal, and they'd be back up for 15, 20 years. Okay. What was the question you had about Cam? Can Cam be a backup? He's been the face of all franchises. He's been the guy. How is he going to be sitting over there with a clip with headphones on, knowing somebody else is playing, and you're like, man, I'm better than him? That's how Odell is.
Okay, I got it. But I don't know that he wants the smoke, the heat, the expectation, the pressure of walking into, let's say, Dallas, let's say Kansas City, and all of a sudden, Odell, save us. I don't think that would be the view of Odell in Dallas, because you're not the biggest fan of C.D. Lamb. I am. Right. I think it's pretty well established C.D. is the number 1. And I think Odell would be perfectly happy just to edge in, just to sort of ease in as a Michael Gallup, as another Noah Brown, as another guy who could slowly but surely, as you rise and shine into the playoffs, just the way he did last year.
Well, I think
for the Rams,
I do think it's easier, Skip, because you have already identified. He knows going to L.A. last year, Cooper Kupp was already on a historic season.
He was on a historic pace. He was the best. You can't do it in a vacuum, but just on numbers, he was the best receiver in football.
And Skip, if you look at it, he's going now coming in. He's like, okay. Odell knows, okay, they've removed Amari because they want CD to be number 1.
Yep.
So he knows that in the back of his mind. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a lot easier because they've identified their number 1. They've greased the skid so he can be number 1. So, but Skip, it's hard for me to believe that he'll be anything less than 2. He's better than Noah Brown. He's better than Michael Gallup.
Obviously he is, but he could ease into that situation the way he did last year. Because remember, he played 8 games for the Rams down the stretch last year, and he was quiet. He averaged 3 catches for 34 yards for 8 straight games. Yeah. Pretty quiet. And you said I was hard on him. Well, I kept saying, show me, do something.
Well, I think the thing is, and it's going to be the same situation as this, Skip, it's a lot more difficult to get a guy come in mid-season to find out what he can do. You get him in training camp, Skip, you get an opportunity to implement plays and find out what he's good at. Yep. Okay, what situation, what do we want to put him on? Is he better in the stack formation? He's better outside the numbers. Is he better in the slot? So you get an idea.
It would take time.
Yeah, you don't really have time in regular season.
But he did not explode. Again, you just read the numbers until at Tampa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At Tampa, he explodes. He catches 9 balls for 113 yards in what became a shootout.
Right.
That Brady rallied him back to 27 all, and then you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
But Cooper Kupp caught the big ball at the end that set up the walk-off field goal, and it was 30-27, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the point is that it's the perfect fit, because I don't think Dallas, in Jerry's heart of hearts, it's not going to be so much what Odell does on the field. It's just his presence. It's his aura. It's his mystique. I guess he'd wear 13. I don't know. But all of a sudden, when you look and you see, wait a second, Odell Beckham Jr. is on their sideline.
What about him as Gallup?
I can't. No,
because I think one of the corners or the DB has 3. I think Wilson has 3.
I was going to look this up and I blanked out.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I didn't do it, but whatever. We'll figure. If Gallup has 13, then he should have 13 now.
No, I ain't getting about no.
Yes, that's the end. Sorry.
Gallup has 13.
No,
I thought
Gallup has 13.
Well, if I'm Odell, I want 88.
Numbers guy.
If I'm Gallup, I want 80. I mean, if I'm Odell, I want 88. Because I'm closer to the dogs that want 88.
You know what? I'm going to tell you for a fact he does not want 88.
Why he don't want that smoke?
That'd be the last smoke that
he want all that smoke.
He does not want 88. That would be the last thing. He might want 87.
Wait. 87.
Yeah, he'll take one short of it, but not 88. I don't care what he wears. Let him wear number 1. I don't care. Let him wear 0 like Westbrook. I don't care. I want him on my sideline. I want him in the camera shot. I want the other team to know, wait a second, they got Odell? Yes. That's all I care about. I don't even care about the numbers. Because
you get away people's number. In Boss Man Fat 1, you got Joseph.
Kelvin.
You just get away.
I don't even care.
You just give it away. Hold on, Skip.
I need Odell. I need his presence. I need mystique. I just need his social media aura, posting about the Dallas Cowboys.
So you get Odell.
Yep.
Super Bowl. Y'all in Arizona.
I think it would up our chances. Well, you just saw what happened with the Rams. Was he not a catalyst, an X factor, an over-the-top factor?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I love all that. So here's the point. I think he's going to sit back, and I think he can watch, because I don't think this is going to happen until around the 1st of December, even though he's going to be declared healthy here pretty quickly. So I think he's sitting back, and I believe my team is about to go play for Odell Beckham, for his rights, you might say.
Man, they're going to beat Green Bay. I mean, come on. I don't see Green Skip. Why would I go to Green Bay? Green Bay is 4 games back.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I've told you this before, and I'm going to reiterate, I'm going to get stronger and stronger on this today, tomorrow, and Friday as we lead up to the Fox game of the week.
Right.
The point is, I haven't seen Dak do anything for a long time, because beating the Lions and the Bears is nothing to me. They were the 2 easiest back-to-back comeback games for Dak Prescott you could ever ask for at home. Now going up to Green Bay, it's a different story. I don't care how ravaged they are. I don't care how decimated they are. They're still the Packers, and they have a history against my team.
What's the team going to be on Sunday?
I don't know. But the point is, they're a 5-point dog, and they're decimated. Okay, well, maybe so. And I hope you're right, and I think you're right. But then the next week, the ante gets upped again, because you love Kirk Cousins. I don't, but it's at Minnesota. And I think Odell's going to sit back and say, well, let me watch that game, and let's see what they do on Thanksgiving against my ex-team, the Giants. And if they win those 3 games, I'm Dallas bound, because he said in his tweet, I want to win. Okay? Well, sure he wants to win.
You want to win. Well, you want to win, you better go to KC. Did he not watch what one homeboy did? He's like, man, I could be getting some of that.
You really want to go there and be the savior of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Did you know the savior's already there?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
No, he went on 15. Somebody. He can't catch it.
He throw to anybody. You see, he threw to the backup tight end.
Yeah.
25 yards down the field. Who throw it to their tight end, covered by a safety, 25 yards down the field? My homeboy.
Okay, well, he's the best pass-catching tight end in football.
No, I ain't talking about Kelsey.
Okay.
No, he didn't throw the ball to Kelsey.
Okay.
You remember what Juju? Let me ask you a question. How Juju looked the last 2-3 years in Pittsburgh?
Okay. Do you think Juju is hailed as the savior of the Kansas City Chiefs as a wide receiver, the Tyreek replacement? Nobody thinks of him that way.
Look at him. Look what he doing for MVS. Man, Odell go right in, fit right in. Go get him a bunch of guns and balls.
No.
Because my homeboy spread that thing around.
Here's the truth. You know I'm right about Odell going to Dallas, and you fear it, and it disgusts you, the mere thought of it, so you're trying to poo-poo it. You're trying to speak it out of existence, and you're not going to be able to win this one.
You've been telling me for 3 months, if Odell was all of that, somebody should sign him and stash him away.
Yep.
That's what you've been telling me.
Okay. I didn't see this coming for the Dallas Cowboys.
So in other words, now
I'm good. Now I'm in the catbird seat.
Yeah, that's what this is. This is about now all of a sudden you have an opportunity to get his services when you didn't think you were in line to get his services. And he's not that good.
He will give us an America's Team discount.
Why?
Because he was born to play for the Cowboys, and I'll tell you why, because I'm about to show you quickly why. Do you remember this catch that he made?
Yeah.
One Sunday night against my Dallas Cowboys. This put him on the map. Guess who it was against? My Dallas Cowboys. This is Eli over Brandon Yu's car.
Boom.
And greatest catch ever. Greatest catch ever. Woo.
One hand on
Way
you.
to go, Odell.
Holds it. Ball didn't move.
Yeah.
There was no question it was a catch. He was interfered with.
No question it was a catch.
That's a catch.
And that put Odell on the national map. Why did it put him on the national map? Because the opponent was America's team.
No, it was on Sunday
If
Night
he'd
Football.
done it against Jacksonville, it would not have mattered nearly as much. This was America's team on Sunday Night Football. And you know and I know that catch, it even got immortalized because my Cowboys came back to win the game. So he, feeding off the aura of my Cowboys, he became internationally famous in a game they lost to my Cowboys.
It happens sometimes.
Okay?
But, hey, Michael Jordan became internationally famous for that 63-point effort in a game he lost. And why? Because it was against the big three Celtics. But, Skip, you and I both know. Say it with me. That was a catch. The guy caught the ball. He went to the ground.
Okay.
He maintained possession of the football throughout the entirety of the act of catching the football.
And your point is?
That's a catch.
Okay. As opposed to one that happened in Green Bay? We're going to talk about that in just a moment.
I don't know what you didn't let that go. Huh? That was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Let
By
it
the
go.
way, Des was tweeting yesterday. He said, it's a real vibe down here. He tweeted to Odell, that's the truth.
Wait, no vibe. Stop it. Yucca-luca. Oh, baby bird. It's a vibe.
You keep trying to change the subject and you're failing.
Let me ask you a question. Who was at the game the other night against the Brooklyn Nets? Who was at the game, Skip? Micah. Courtside.
Okay.
Watching baby bird.
So what's your point? He lives there.
No, he wanted to see the baddest man on the planet.
Well, he went to watch Kevin Durant.
Whatever.
He did. You set me up for that one. Thank you.
Watch him miss a free throw.
Yeah. For the first time in 62 shots.
Baby Bird was giving it to him. He was giving it. First of all, he was giving it to Ben Simmons, and then KD said, "Let me get some of that." Luka said, "For real? You want some of this, KD?"
You're failing to change the subject. Odell, welcome to Dallas.
No.
We love you.
This man is spent the better part. Everybody knows. Excuse me, Jen. Everybody knows. They've heard this man say for 5 months, if Odell was all of that, somebody should just stash him away.
Yep. We're about to stash him.
He has 2 surgeries. You know, he's coming off 2 ACL.
Yep, he is. Welcome to Dallas, Odell.
It would almost be a homecoming for OBJ. Of course, he was born in Baton Rouge, while both his parents were athletes at LSU, but his dad's from Marshall, 2 hours away from Dallas. I don't know, Skip. I think you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Here.
All right,
he
gentlemen. He owns something. He need to get off that.
Up next.
Dude.
Let's move on. What did Aaron Rodgers have to say about Sunday's game against Skip's Cowboys? Shannon, you got to even out the scales here on this one. And why is Tom Brady embarrassed about the Bucs? Ooh, it's going to be good. We're back in just a moment. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.